Welcome to Motivational Moments with Marissa. I'm your host. It's your life. Own it. I'm so excited to be here with you on another Monday morning. As you know, Own It. It's Your Life. Own It is a part of the Own It magazine and publishing company, and we are here to inspire you and influence you to become the CEO of your life and start making some executive decisions. It's never too late to get started. If you're not on point, we want to bring you to that place that you get in alignment with your life assignment. Take a center stage and owning it with me this morning and every Monday morning is my team from the Own It magazine, contributing writers, Nathaniel X. Ross, Teresa
Morning.
Ann Palmer, Jeffrey E. Burke,
Good morning.
Dr. E. Reed, she is in the house with us, and we are so excited to be here with you on the top of May. We're here, and it's May. We are almost through this year, people, and it's been an exciting journey, and it's going fast. Don't you guys think the time? And someone shared with me. Does anyone know that we're on some kind of time frame where time has sped up? Is anybody familiar with that?
No, but it has sped up. It's gone by really, really fast. So we're almost
No, we're
halfway through.
on time. Yeah, but we're on some kind of cycle that our time is actually sped up. And I kept saying that for a while now that time is fast. So, listen, audience, you want to pay attention to what we're going to be talking about. You want to make sure you stay in tune every Monday to get influence because we're speaking to you from so many different perspectives. Teresa is speaking to you from the heart because that is the most important muscle in your body. And you need to use that muscle and you need to use so Nathaniel is speaking to you in life in totality. Your wealth, getting it yourself, and you're managing your household, getting your finances in place, and getting things in order. He's speaking to you from a holistic perspective. Dr. Reed is talking to you, and she's going to be speaking to you about down to the DNA, honey. She's trying to do some hair analysis. She wants you to get down to the core of really what's going on and really having a high level of awareness. Jeffrey is talking to you about some radical things that you need to be doing from a holistic perspective, from health and also too wealth in your investments. And these are investments that are not your traditional investments. So he's going to cause you to stretch outside of your comfort zone to take some, take some chances in some other areas and being creative to how you gain your wealth and how you do your investments. So you are getting a holistic approach with this particular group in regards to taking life it, truly owning your life in all different no more excuses, no more excuses, no more reasons for why, because we're here. And you can work with us individually. You can reach out to Teresa, you can reach out to Nathaniel, you can reach out to Stephanie, you can reach out to Jeffrey when you like what you're hearing from them and work with them directly and go deeper into because we can only capture so much in this short period of time that we're together. But you can work with them individually. We go so deep into the conversation, you to miss out on that opportunity of knowing that you can reach out. We're all on social media. We all have different websites. So just reach out to them individually if you love what you're hearing from them. So we're going to talk about some topics this morning. We're talking about, we got Mother's Day this month. And we're looking at women influencing this month of May. Jeffrey, you mentioned that it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we're just going to really dive in. I want to start us off with this particular question, and you could always punt it, spin it, whatever you like, because when you guys speak, you're subject matter experts in your own right, and you have your own perspective. So the first thing I want to ask you is, when did you realize the importance of taking ownership of your destiny? This is about own it is all about taking authority over your life, and then becoming strategic and intentional as you move forward. So I'm going to start with you, Nathaniel. Find it important to really take hold of your destiny.
Oh, well, wow. For me, it happened in phases. Um, when I was a kid, I learned pretty quickly that I needed to take ownership of my life. And I think one of the things that triggered it for me was the fact that I was in foster care and going through the Baltimore City foster care system. And I just didn't like the experience. And it was like, there's got to be more to life than this. And that was a trigger for me. And I participated in a number of different youth programs. And I did a speech. I was the youth governor for the state of Maryland, and I did a speech, and a lot of the assembly people, the actual assembly people for the state were in attendance at the audience. And one of them came up to me afterwards and said, I could sit here and listen to you speak all day long. That blew me away as a teenager for somebody that of that stature to say something like that to me. So at that point, it was like, all right, that means that I can change my circumstances and my situation. And I did. Um, but it took years after that and different steps along the way that opened it up even more and more and more. And, going through my career, working in corporate America, it eventually evolved to I got to get out of corporate America. I got to do the entrepreneurial thing. Um, so it for me it was a gradual phase of keep getting hits of it's now time to take the next step. It's now time to take the next step. And I will be celebrating my birthday Tuesday. I'll be 63 years old, and I'm going through a new step now where I'm relocating and I'm moving to Thailand. So I'll be living in Thailand and DR. It doesn't stop, right? So it just keeps progressing for me.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you said phases, immediately I went to evolving because we're constantly evolving. What makes us tick and ticks us off remain the same. And the reason I'm charging you guys with this question is to say to people, when do you have that aha moment? When do you have that moment where you just realize that you have to take control, that you can't just go quietly into the night and continue to allow things to just occur? So, Teresa, I'm going to charge you with the question. What was the defining moment in your life when you realized the importance of taking ownership of your destiny? I think you mentioned that a little bit backstage.
Yeah, there were a couple of things. One is I kind of grew up with the idea that your life is your own and that life is what you make it. Uh, and then the second thing was I had started my own spiritual journey 24 years ago in the year 2000. And I started to understand really what karma was and life circumstance, that there are things that you can change. There's certain things that maybe you can't change, things possibly such as, death or um, anything like that. But on the whole, you kind of go with resilience with your life and make those changes as you need to. I just got back from the DR. In fact, a week ago, I was just not even boarding a plane yet to come home. And it really was life changing for me because I was with people that I did not know at all. I just know them through Zoom, but I'd never met people in person. And just the meshing with the people, it was just so seamless. And also, people really, through their actions, giving me the encouragement to really, I've been transitioning because I've always worked for someone else. I've always done my own holistic cardiology, but I did it with my patients in a practice. And now I'm looking to do that more consulting, doing it on my own, working with people in collaboration with their traditional or whatever, healthcare and heart care they're receiving now as an adjunct to that with what I do as far as getting people connected to their heart and being aware of it. So that was another piece. And having the opportunity to speak internationally to reach a lot of people at one time was really a gift for me. And also the fact that I'm wearing my jewelry, if anybody can see it. It's a stone called Larimar, which is really indigenous to both the DR and to the Bahamas. And it's funny because this stone found me. I had been looking for it because I always like to get something local, indigenous to the country. I'm not big on souvenirs. I like things that have meaning. And I had heard about it and I had asked about it. I was told a local vendor sells it and he's always on the beach. Well, for 4 days he wasn't on the beach. So I kind of given up hope. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to find it. And then one day a storm was kind of brewing. So I was moving my things under a tree and on the beach. And there he was. He was standing under there, starting to pack his things because he was getting ready for the storm. And I said, oh, do you know who sells the stone Larimar? And he pulled it out. He says, oh, I have a few pieces left. He said, a storm is coming up. And, I said, I looked at it and I bought the bracelet and the necklace. And I was his last sale for the day and got it in just before it started to rain. So I really felt that, again, that was a way of changing my life and giving me confirmation that I really need to move forward with really doing my transition fully into my own business. So.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, it's so important, and we don't. And I know Nathaniel and I always have these conversations in regards to what we talked about at the dinner table, but also what we talked about in school when we were in school. We didn't really have entrepreneurship and understanding the transition from employment to entrepreneurship and what that really meant and how that was accomplished. And so that's why I like to have these kind of conversations, the conversations that people are really not having, in a way that people can take this knowledge and go and apply it, not just hear information and don't know how to actually take action with it and see results. And so that's why this question was a charge for me. It was just like, how do people to have that aha moment and let them know that it's never too late. No matter where you are in life, it's never too late to pivot, to change direction, and to also take control and be more intentional and more strategic. So I'm going to continue to charge this question, and I'm going to go to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, define that moment that in life that you realized that it was important for you to take charge of your destiny.
Sure. Thanks, Marissa. Let me start out with this because you talked about talking at the dinner table, talking in school. Today, there are more colleges that are offering entrepreneurship programs. For example, down here in Fort Myers, University of Florida has an entire entrepreneurial department for people that don't want to go to traditional JOBS, which is what I grew up in, is go to school and get a job. And my turning point started in 2000, August of 2015, which is when I walked out of corporate America from total burnout. Working 27 years as a software engineer, I was not happy with the system. I wasn't getting really what I wanted. I wanted more out of life. And over the next 2 years, I've kind of explored different opportunities, different possibilities. What am I going to do? I don't want to work for somebody else. And in 2018, June, when my doctor said you have to go on to a sixth medication, that was the breaking point. That was the unleashed moment for me to take ownership of my own life. And then from there, it's just really progressed into unbelievable opportunities. And I think that this should be really taught to our younger generation about both sides of the fence. Going and go to school, yeah, it's great to get educated, but go get a job or be an entrepreneur. What is your passion? And my passion has grown into being able to make a difference in people's lives. And it started out with focusing on gut health, because I transformed my own health, getting off of 5 medications, and now working on that physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. aspect for the first 4 to 5 years. Now I've incorporated the finance because that was the last piece of the equation for my journey. So now I'm speaking about all of them. So it's been a great journey. And again, just tagging on what Teresa said with regards to the DR and the Unleashed conference and event. It was great to meet people in person because we're on, social media and Zoom and StreamYard, and we don't get that, the hands-on, that camaraderie as we do when we're in person versus online. And that's what I love about these types of events, is being to talk to them personally to expand the relationship. So it was a very, very wonderful week, and thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you.
And you're so welcome. Good, and it was good to have you guys. And you're so right in regards to the importance of being in a room where it happens, right? To be able to physically be in the room and really get to see people in their natural, just their natural flow, and to get to know them. And it's nice too because they're like-minded people. We're all crazy enough to believe that we can step outside of the box and do this thing. Because we're always around folks who don't get us most of the time because just go to your job, just relax. Because what we do requires stretching. It requires you to get uncomfortable. It requires you to take risks, but they're good risks because they're going to cause you to elevate, to go up, to climb higher.
Right.
So I love it. That's why I say I love being in a room with people. I love to be able to touch you, feel you, all that other good stuff. Now, I want to charge back in regards to formal learning. Because the challenge and the charge that I have in formal learning is that we get exposure to all these programs, these methodologies, these theories and practice. But are we really, really taught
Right.
the actual tasks that are required for you not only gain the knowledge, but for you to really apply it in your life immediately? And that's the charge I have. We hear a lot of theories, but I'm a deep person. I dive deep in, and I'm looking for what are the formula and what's the step-by-step instructions for how do I take this theory that's down here that I'm exposed to and put it into real practice, into a formulated coaching program or a formulated process. And that's where you get a challenge. And again, there's still a challenge as one who's a practitioner to shift into their own practice. And shifting over to Dr. Reed, I know that you have your own practice, you do all of that. And you know that there is a challenge that we get exposure to the knowledge, but how do we take that knowledge and formulate it into our own practices and how we coach? But I want to digress into, I know you're going to go in deep in regards to what you do, but I want to talk about what was that moment, that pivotal moment for you that said, I need to take my life into my own hands and be strategic and intentional on my destiny.
That pivotal moment for me, and hi everybody, thanks for Marissa having me on again. I love the show. It's very similar to Nate. There are moments, those aha moments where something shifts. It's like you shift from a new timeline. And since I work with women over 40, I want to speak to them specifically. Normally for women, that happens when we are traumatized by something. And we make a definitive decision and say, this will never happen to me again. The problem with that is there's a combination of that knee-jerk reaction. We're reactionary at that moment, but we don't have a system in place, like you said. And that pivotal moment for me, I believe, was the first monumental one, was when I went to Temple University. I had a class in ethics, and I was so excited to do no harm. And then the very next class was pathology pharmacology, and a pharmaceutical rep said to us, this is this wonderful drug. It's going to do all these wonderful things, but may cause bleeding ulcers. Your butt's going to fall out. But ask your doctor today. It might kill you. And I'm thinking, did anybody hear that? And when the professor said, you have a question, I said, this sounds ludicrous. It sounds stupid. Now I'm a young 20 something, so I'm vocal. And he said to me, well, if you don't like that, you probably should try that natural medicine. And everybody's like, ooh. And I'm like, oh. And that was the moment I realized that I could do medicine differently than what was projected onto me. Because back in the 80s, we're a 79, 80s babies. What happens is you can only have a few professions that your family would approve of: accountant, lawyer, doctor, or what was the other one? Fireman, police officer, or public servant. And so I followed in that. And it felt comfortable, it felt uncomfortable. And what I realized, that probably was my calling, but I didn't have to do it the way that it was shoved down my throat. And when I was given that opportunity to make a distinction, it was because of a traumatic moment of that embarrassment of going, oh, you're not going to do what we're doing? You're stupid. And I had to take that leap of faith and say, no, I'm not stupid. I'm having a divine download right now. And I'm going to go with that, because what you guys are doing doesn't seem like it fits my energy, my sense of soul. And that was the most pivotal moment. And so when we bring it back to 2020, needless to say, I've been doing that for 20 years. I found that people, or women specifically that I work with, are not well unless we give them a system. So we think that wellness is just, if I'm not taking a pharmaceutical drug, then can you give me an herb or a vitamin or something? I'm thinking, well, it's not that simple. So one of the things I have to teach people is that even though you want to transition into a new idea, a new way of life, there's a system and a practice that needs to be put in place. And I do that through my unclocking program. I believe as a naturopath that we are spirit, mind, and body, not in ears, nose, and throat. And so I work with you holistically. And there's 5 steps to unclocking. Unclocking just means that women over 40, you've done a phenomenal job with your body to create and give society new people to love on. However, God gave you breath to do something else after that moment. After your biological clock stops ticking, what else? What else are you breathing for? Not necessarily just to be a perpetual mom to your grandchildren or to continuously parent your 40-year-old kids. That's not what your life is for after 40 and over. Your life is for personal fulfillment that's derived from your passion that you could not do when you were a child, and it leads to your purpose, which is your assignment, why God have you still here. And there's 5 steps to do that. The first one is power up. Allow yourself to be led by the intuition that's within inside you. That is the most accurate beacon of guidance you could ever have. Start trusting it. Number 2, dismantle your limiting beliefs. All of the reasons why you have not achieved something is because you told yourself you couldn't. That was a mindset. Once you do those things, the third thing you have to do is refuel yourself. Take your energy back. All the love and all the resources you've been giving to other people, reel it back in and give it to yourself. Once you do that, you can start aligning yourself, and here's the kicker, with the version of yourself that holds the purse to your purpose. Get lined up with that version of you. And from there on, you can set boundaries, because once you know where you're going, nobody else can get on that road if they don't align with that trajectory. Then after that, you just flow into your passions. And as your passions evolve, you realize, you go, oh, I think I understand my purpose. Which is that aha moment I got when I was at Temple University and I was embarrassed. So there is a system, there are steps, there is support. But you also have to acknowledge that your biggest aha moments may well come from those hardest, difficult experiences that you've ever had, and you've made a conscious or subconscious decision to do something about it. That's when change comes.
That's very, very good.
Thank you.
You hit
Well received.
you hit on a few different areas. You talked about when you shift. You said that it's during a traumatic moment where trauma doesn't necessarily mean like a violent or aggressive act. Trauma could just mean that you have had enough of the mistreatment. You've had enough of it, and now you're back.
Yeah.
The thing that I would charge in those moments too is because we make bitter root judgments and inner vows. I'll never be like you had mentioned. Now, I won't do that again. And sometimes we make those bitter vows. We got to make sure that we're in alignment with where our heart is and how we're speaking, because we don't realize the manifestation of that later. Is that it does manifest later on. So you hit so many different things, and what I really love about your practice is that, I love self-awareness, because the way that you're be able to do those 5 steps is the a level of time that you take to know thyself, get self-aware, slow down to connect. How am I feeling? What's really going on here? And that's the introspective work that needs to be done with the individual, to slow down and say in the moment, okay, where am I? What's really triggering me, what's influencing me, checking out the environment, external, and also to what's going on internal, to find that self-mastery. Mastering of self and how you navigate, because that's how you're going to be able to set and keep those boundaries. And so that's what I love about what you do in the unclocking. And for the audience, please connect with Dr. Reed in regards to the unclocking program that she has, that's available to you. Connect with her. And so that's so important, the inner vows, bitter root judgments. But I want to get back to the professor that was so ignorant in the opportunity to really speak to you. They ignorant, and we have to call them. They should be embarrassed for not recognizing a student that wants to learn, because you're in a position to say, hey, wait a minute, do you know, Stephanie, that there is a different road that you can take? Very good question. Instead of trying to belittle or make you feel uncomfortable so that they can rise up. That is a very insignificant and insecure individual. And professors do that, and care who are in authority do that a lot to people. And they need to be checked, because that was a teaching moment for both the leader and the student. And so we always have to rise up, and that's what It's Your Life, Own It is all about. We have to rise up above those moments that are designed to make us feel inferior, to recognize that nothing can penetrate us unless we allow it to, and to be able to make that pivot in the direction with being unscathed by their, snare. And so I love it, because you had the opportunity to have an aha moment and take another path. That's what these conversations are really, really all about, is to say to them, we understand that you go through that. We understand that that happens, but don't allow that to rob you of your high level self-worth. That does not determine who you are. It just shows you who they are. And so, love that you shared that, because that's such a critical moment. We're going to
Hey, Marissa, can I give a different spin on that, please?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. I I just want people that's listening to understand that when we come on and we do this show with you, that it's not just motivational for them, but it's motivational from us, that we get motivated from the other subject matter experts that are on the panel. That's the one thing I wanted to share. The other thing is just a different twist on what you were saying about Dr. Reed. We need those naysayers. It's the naysayers that motivated Dr. Reed to do what she did and take a different direction. And I've had naysayers in my life that made me shift. I didn't like what they said to me. It was uncomfortable, but it made me shift, and it made me who I am today. And it would be ideal if people in different positions said and did the right things all the time. But sometimes those negative things are the prompts that we need in order to make us grow into who we need to become, so that we can be better for other people out there. So I just wanted to put that little twist out there for folks to understand that.
Yeah. Could I just add something also? I think a lot of it has to do with knowing who you are. And the only way you could know who you are is to spend time with yourself. And we kind of shun away from that, because we're always told that we have to multitask, be busy, serve others. Self-care is so important, to put yourself first. It's not being selfish. It's only when you could put yourself first that then you could help others. So a lot of times we don't take that quiet time, whether it be a walk in nature, whether it be doing some exercise, some yoga, meditation, anything that keeps you in the present moment so that you could hear what's going on with yourself. And we all have that inner guidance, our intuition, which is part of our heart. And when we take the time to really listen to that and really listen to the voice in our heart, we know then where we're being guided. And it may be that we have to go in a different direction. Sometimes it's just tweaking things a little bit. And sometimes it's perhaps staying where you are in something, but doing what you believe is the best thing in that situation or in that career. So I think it's all about us getting to know ourselves. And I think that's a big thing. You know, we're not taught that. I don't think there's any education that teaches you how to really stay with yourself, be with yourself, and know that when you take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, even a half an hour every day for yourself, that you're not being lazy. You're actually doing so much for your mental health. And it is Mental Health Awareness Month also. So I would encourage everyone to spend time with themselves, to listen to what's going on within them, listen to their spirit and their body, and to just follow that path, even if it doesn't make sense to you. You are being guided someplace, and everything does have a way of working out.
Awesome, awesome. Teresa, let people know how they can connect with you.
People could connect with me. I do have a website, www.wellbeinggal, all one word, WELLBEINGGAL.com. I'm also on Facebook, and I also do some things with Instagram. But if you go to my website right now, it's to leave a message, and then I could get back to you. I'm in the process of getting a landing page and doing some things. So
Awesome.
I'm a work in progress.
You're a work in progress. Quickly, Nathaniel, share with them you have a foundation that you want people to participate. Share that, and then also share our audience the way that they can get and stay connected with you.
The easiest way to connect with me, we'll do it all through the nonprofit, abundancelegacy.org. Go onto the website, all my social media contact information is there. But we do a 3-month financial boot camp that's free. You have to register in order to participate in it. And we help people with 3 big target areas that we do. We help people get out of debt so that they can have financial freedom. We help people to learn to live within their means so that they're not chasing after the Joneses. And then we teach them how to strategically to invest for financial stability or wealth. And it's a 3-month program. We meet for 2 hours via video conference on Thursdays at 7 p.m. We're starting the first week of June, and we'll go through the end of August. And just shoot me an email, shoot any of us an email, and we'll be glad to forward your name on, and we'll reach out to you with information on how to get connected for the upcoming class in June.
All right, sounds good. Jeffrey.
Yeah, so I'm on all social media platforms. Just look for Jeffrey E. Berger and the bald-headed dude, easily found. And my website is jeffreyeberger.biz, and everything is on there as well. And every first and second Saturday, I do a webinar in regards to international real estate fractional ownership. The world is changing from a finance perspective as well as doing business. It's going on to the blockchain technology, and real estate has been tokenized. And I educate people about this new pioneering era of real world asset tokenization. So things are being tokenized, being put onto the blockchain, whether it's high-end hotels, eventually your homes will be on there, your cars, any personal belongings you'll be able to sell on the blockchain within an instant. So all that information is on my website, and to sign up for the Saturday workshops, the first and second Saturday of the month.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Reed?
Well, I'm easy to find as Dr. Stephanie Reed. If you type me in, a gazillion things will pop up. But my website is Dr. Stephanie YHP. YHP stands for Your Healing Place. When I had a brick and mortar practice closed right after COVID, I wanted to make an experience for everybody that they felt that when they came to somebody who said, hey, I can help you shift your health, I wanted to be their place and not Dr. Stephanie's office. So it was called Your Healing Place. So if you want to find me, connect with Your Healing Place, which is Dr. Stephanie YHP. Dr. Stephanie YHP on Instagram, Dr. Stephanie YHP on LinkedIn, Dr. Stephanie YHP everywhere, or just type in my name and I'll pop up. I can't wait to meet you.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, that's it for us for today. We want you to stay motivated, stay influenced, stay empowered. Till next time, it's your life. Own it. We are out. Thank you.